We're going to check out some malicious compliance today. First guy's trying to get some of his money out of his bank account and the bank's messing him around. English is my first language and I'm typing on a laptop, so I expect you all to judge this post harshly. Yeah, we're gonna. Don't worry. I moved from Pennsylvania to Michigan a few years ago and only go home once a year, so a few years back I transferred the vast majority of my bank account to Michigan, but they were giving me a hard time about closing the account, so I withdrew all funds except for $1.31. Hey, that's a coffee. I haven't touched the account since that time, so 2 years later I get a notice for inactivity stating that I will be charged $5 if my account remains inactive for 2 years. I spoke with 3 different people on the phone, but they would not let me close out the account without incurring a fee, and since I'm not moving back to that town, I refuse to pay them or add money to the account. Yeah, makes sense. Cue malicious compliance. So I have to interact with the account once every 2 years or else pay you $5? Fine. Give me 1 penny, please. I see where this is going. When I was there in person last month, I withdrew 1 penny from the account, so now it's good for another 2 years. The attendant definitely gave me a weird look, but at this rate, my account will be remaining open for the next 260 years. So this guy's grandkids are going to have to be roped into this scheme where every 2 years they're going to have to pull out a penny. I mean, with inflation at that rate, it's not going to get that far. Sure, I'll take down my negative Yelp review. All the reviews on Yelp are negative. This happened to me a few years ago. I was owed a significant sum of money by the company which handles my doctor's bills. She worked at a large healthcare system which outsourced billing to this company. For months and months, I tried via email and phone to get the money back, but each contact I was treated rudely and ignored. They could either say that they are still working on it, or would act like I had never requested the money in the first place, and ended up starting the whole process all over again. It was maddening. One day after receiving another rude email from this company, I decided to leave a Yelp review on my doctor's page. I essentially said that while the doctor and his staff were helpful and professional, the billing company they used was atrocious, and they made the entire experience not worth it. Yeah, that makes sense. Lo and behold, the very next day I get a call from the CEO of the billing company. He asks me what the problem is, and I explain. He says, "Okay, I'll make sure the money gets sent ASAP. Could you please take down the review?" Apparently he was getting angry calls from my doctor, and he seemed pretty pressured to get it taken down. I responded I can take the review down after I get my money back. Yeah, that's fair. He gladly accepts my offer, and a week later, there's a check in my mail. Here's the thing, though. I never specified how long until I was going to take the review down after I got the money. So I waited a week, got some calls, texts from the CEO, ignored them, wait another week, respond that I'm having technical problems logging into Yelp, but should have it resolved soon. After about 6 months of him reaching out and me being as unhelpful as possible, I finally took it down. The next time I returned to the doctor's office, it was a whole new billing system. Not sure if my review made a difference, but it was sweet malicious compliance regardless. It's not bad. So he comes back later and he edits the post and he essentially says that the billing company was billing him and the insurance company, so they were double dipping pretty much, which is, I think, I'm not a lawyer or anything else like that, but that sounds pretty illegal to me, and pretty typical for the American healthcare system. This one's pretty heartwarming because it's about this guy's mother and she passed away, so God rest her. My mother passed away several years ago, and this is one of the best stories. She worked at the head of a transcription department of the government agency. Whenever she would ask for time off, her boss would refuse. This went on for years, and her leave just occurred. One day, when she was about to turn 63 years old, she walked into the boss's office and tells him that she's given her 2 years' notice and she'd be retiring. He is very confused as to why she has given him so much notice. Then she informs him that she'll be on vacation for the rest of her employment, as she has 2 years of leave occurred, and walks out the door. That's pretty stone cold. I mean, if they're not going to let her have vacation and they're not going to make her take her vacation, then, they really can't do anything to her, right? She gets a nice 2 sweet paid years of vacation. Your mom's pretty cool. This is another one about a bank. I don't know why so many banks are trying to mess with people, but it just seems to be pretty reoccurring. Several years back, I was in the process of changing jobs, moving to a new city and buying a new house. To purchase the house, I needed a $66,000 down payment at closing. I had the cash, but it was in a few different accounts, and I didn't have a local bank that could issue a cashier's check. To resolve this issue, I went to the local credit union and explained what was going on, and then discussed opening an account with them. transferring the money from my other accounts to the new account, and then getting a cashier's check issued from that account for closing. Yeah, it makes sense. They agreed that this was something that they could do, and the timeline was easily supported. I opened an account that day, transferred the money that night, and then showed up a few days later to get my cashier's check. When I got to the counter and asked for the check, I am informed that I must wait 7 days after funds transferred before they can issue a cashier's check for those funds. We go back and forth several times when I explain to her that I am closing my house in an hour and the 7-day wait was not disclosed when I opened the account. She apologizes, but was unflinching in regards to the policy and said it was in writing and I signed it when I opened the account. Nobody reads those things anyways. After a long pause, I asked her for $66,000 in cash. She looked at me, waiting a second to see if I was joking, followed with, "Excuse me for a moment, I'll be right back." Her supervisor came out and simply asked, "Sir, who would you like us to make this check out to?" To this day, I wonder if I'd be able to close with a wad of cash instead of a check. Just imagine buying a house and just slamming down a briefcase with $66,000 in it. I would definitely get that out in ones. I feel like if I just had 66,000 ones, that would be a fun day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help my channel grow. I'm hoping on doing a couple of these each week. If you guys have any ideas for different ones for me to read, then please by all means comment on the videos, and I'll see you for the next one.